Another brick fan with a Ninjago poly bag. This is Ice Dragon Creature. This is set 30649, was released in January 2023. It has 70 pieces, no minifigures, and cost about $5 when it was released. There's been many Ninjago sets released. A lot of them are kind of these mech creatures or creatures. Some of them are mechs, some of them are training things. A lot of them include vehicles and or minifigs. In this case, we just get the Ice Dragon Creature, but it is a 2-in-1 set, which also is pretty common in these Ninjago sets. So let's get the main build built first, and then we'll take a look at the alternate build as well. Here's the main build of our Ice Dragon Creature, and I think it turned out quite nicely. Most of the limbs or legs or arms, it looks like it's got 6 arms sort of, are all done on ball joints, so they'll have a lot of movement, as you can see here. So it provides a lot of movement for this particular creature. You can position it in lots and lots of different ways. I think the way they did the head was pretty clever, using this tooth piece kind of inverted here to give it that face, so that it looks kind of like the eyes are here with a triangular mouth underneath it, even though there aren't any eyes underneath there. A couple of these tooth pieces. Of course, Ninjago uses an awful lot of pearl gold pieces. There are 3 of these pearl gold katanas, for example. Some pearl gold ingots, some pearl gold, well, kind of crossbow arrows. A couple of these clip pieces here, maybe representing some banners or something like that. I don't know, perhaps this Ice Dragon Creature represents some faction in the Ninjago world. I'm not up to date on all the Ninjago stuff, so I'm not even sure where this Ice Dragon Creature fits in the lore, but it does look very nice. I do like the combination of the white and the pale blue here. There's these little quarter rounds kind of representing maybe scales or some different detailing along the spine of the animal. A little bit of detailing here on the forelegs as well. And those almost have 2 appendages on them. You can see they've got the clip pieces facing down and facing forward. So there's kind of a complex creature, as a matter of fact. Overall looks really good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the alternate build, which looks more like a standing up type creature. Here's the alternate build for our Ninjago Ice Dragon Creature. As you can see, it's more of a stand-up dragon figure. Only 4 limbs for this guy instead of the 6 or 8, depending on how you look at it for the other one. Same face, it looks like, except there's no horns on here. The horns have been moved over here under the arrows and things here. Still has that same tail with the sword and the here double-ended rail piece there. The arms are on ball joints, of course, and will move around pretty well. All of the light pale blue here is all on the front of the figure. I like how the legs were formed with a kind of curve there. It turned out really nicely. The feet are done here with the 2 clip pieces there. He's not super stable, but pretty stable. You do have a ball joint at the bottom here and a ball joint at the hip. So like most of these mech type figures, they only have the 2 joints. Most of them don't have knees, usually hips and ankles is all. It looks pretty decent from all sides. I think this is a nice little representation. And like I've said many times, I think with these 2-in-1, 3-in-1 sets, they do a great job of reusing the pieces and creating an entirely different model. Of course, these 2 look very similar to each other, but they definitely are unique in their own ways. Let's go back to the original build and I'll give you my final thoughts on this polybag set. Coming back to the original build, just to give you my final thoughts on this. So this is a pretty good value for a polybag. There are 70 pieces for $5. So the piece count is really good, somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 cents, I would think, per piece. I didn't do the exact math, but 70 pieces for $5 is good for a pure piece count. You do get 2 separate models, which is pretty nice, so you can pick the one you like the best. And then you get really good looking models and a lot of nice coloring and a lot of the pearl gold pieces. Certainly more of these katanas, which, you know, are pretty common in the Ninjago universe, but if you don't collect a lot in Ninjago, this is a good way to get those pieces for sure. Overall, a good Ninjago set and a nice polybag to get. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this polybag set. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to see more of my LEGO reviews. I've left a link to my polybag review playlist up here on the screen.